Hello, welcome to this new video where I'm going to try something new. I want to try some sort of vlog style videos or like include some parts of that because I go to a lot of interesting places like in regional championships in many different countries, the world championships which is going to be in Hawaii, international championships in different continents. So I want to add some flair to the videos without spending too much money. So I'm gonna use my phone camera, and also I got this mobile phone microphone. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, today I'm gonna go to not that remote of a location. It's going to be the first local tournament in the Netherlands for championship points for the new 2025 season, which is going to be pretty exciting. I don't get to wear like my shirt or jersey for my team a lot, so that's what I'll be wearing today to the local. I'll probably look like a nerd, but maybe that's also because I kind of am one. Of course, there will also be battles, but the battles of today are not for the weak. I brought an absolute monstrosity of a team. Let's head over. First, we're gonna pick up Triptando. He usually comes with me to these locals. We have now arrived in Leiden. I'm here with Triptando. We just picked him up. We're gonna do a quick local challenge before Netherlands versus England starts. Triptando, how are you feeling for this challenge? This is the first challenge we have this season. Do you feel confident? Are you going to defeat me today?
Yeah, I'm the best Dutch battler in America and I hold the title over you, so I'm confident by our recent performances.
And how are you gonna go back home?
There's public transport, I can take the train. I think I should make the game right on time.
Fair. Triptando, you're holding my team sheet right now. I want you to take a look at what I have right now and tell me what you think of it. Yes, you can finally take a look.
That's a Pokemon you're acquainted with.
Live reaction from Triptando here.
Do we want to know, Chad, what it is? It's Shadow Swanna.
It's a very good Pokemon. He's going to lose to it, hopefully. Yes, Shadow Swanna is on my team. And the lore behind the Shadow Swanna is I lost to one at the Last Chance Qualifier 2022. The phones back then were not iPhones, they were not exactly updated, and there was a lot of lag. I actually rage quit that tournament, but I want to start the 2025 season strong, so I will overcome my worst fear and bring the Shadow Swan and master it. Unfortunately, this Pokemon has Air Slash and Water Gun as a best fast attack. And since I already have Lantern with so much Water Gun water coverage, I picked Air Slash here. That's also to counter Annihilate a little bit better. It's a little bit unfortunate that Ducklet, its pre-evolution, has Wing Attack and Brave Bird, because those would actually make this Pokemon way more viable. It already has Fly now added to its move pool, which makes it better, but it's still not really that great. Wigglytuff is a Pokemon that I always bring if I find myself a little bit prone to Dragon-type Pokemon, and just to force my way through Pokemon like Gligar and Charjabug, so that's why I have that there. Vigoroth and Bastiodon, I use those because I want to make it a little bit appealing to bring a Pokemon like Poliwrath or Annihilate into my team, and as one I could perhaps pick them up. Cresselia is basically there just to pick up Pokemon like Quagsire, Whiscash, Azumarill, Lantern. Its role really is just to pick up those kind of matchups, and also Vigoroth, of course. And then Lantern is here because it pairs really well with Wigglytuff, and I need a good Skarmory answer. Of course, I have Bastiodon already, but because I have Air Slash on Swanna, and my locals know that I like to use my Spice Picks, it makes Swanna even harder to use, so I paired it with Lantern, even though it might be a little bit overlapping too much with Swanna. My first matchup will actually be against Triptando. This is going to be a very difficult matchup. His Registeel beats 4 out of 6 extremely hard, and then Lantern and Vigoroth aren't even that good of answers. His Cresselia is also quite good into my Swanna, does fine into my Wigglytuff, breaks my Lantern Vigoroth core that threatens the Registeel. I have nothing to break up that Cresselia Registeel core, which is a problem, because they're both extremely bulky as well. Let's see how I'm going to tackle this matchup. It's going to be very tough regardless. Vigoroth into Skeledirge. Not the worst matchup, but you see my backline. I have Bastiodon and Lantern, so naturally I kind of want to get out of here because Registeel is going to be in the back and it's going to sweep my team. So there's two things that I'm thinking here. I want to catch on Bastiodon. Even if it's Vigoroth in the back, I don't consider it the worst out of the worst things that can happen, simply because all the charges are resisted. He brings in Registeel though, and I also don't consider this the worst per se, because Focus Plus won't knock me out just yet. I am worried though that this Registeel afterwards can lock on me down, because Focus Plus double super effective will do a lot of damage. The other idea that I had was I can just try to win switch advantage against that Skeledirge, align my Lantern to the Registeel, but if I'm down a shield I lose that matchup, so it won't be great. And obviously, like, Disarming Voice won't never do as much as Focus Blast. He's gonna go for another Focus Blast here. And as you can see, I will still have to throw an attack. I'm gonna go for the Rock Slide because it does a little bit more. It's not gonna knock out though. It's not gonna knock out. And I am fearing his own Vigoroth in the back. If it's his own Vigoroth in the back, I need that counter damage in. I need to get to another charge stack into his Vigoroth. So I will shield that. He brings in Cresselia. At this point, the game looks very dire simply because Lantern is not bulky enough to hang on to 2 Grass Knot from that Lantern. A Pokemon like Azumarill is, but yeah, Lantern's just not bulky enough for that. It is bulky, but not bulky enough to overcome that. I barely lived that Grass Knot. He hard swapped, so he can't catch there. So yeah, he's like he's like not happy with that, but then he sees my Lantern. This boy, he knows. Lantern with water can actually make this extremely close when shields are up. But my shields are down. As you can see, the Grass Knot is... 2 Grass Knots might not knock me down entirely, but you'll see that I'm way too low to do anything. Even the Skeleders could even incinerate me down at this point. So that's unfortunately one loss. How am I going to overcome this team? We need to adapt. He was so smug, locking in his team so quickly. I'm like, oh yeah, you have such an easy matchup. But here we go. Vigoroth into Registeel. This is kind of where I need the Vigoroth, but this matchup is not that bad for Registeel. It wins the 0 and the 1 shield scenario, and I'm not exactly sure how close this can get if you can get like 2 Zap Cannon debuffs as the Registeel and you were to shield the first ones. The thing is though, Registeel never shields in this matchup, so he's going to go for a Zap Cannon bait here. Unfortunate, but I don't get a debuff, which is great. I'm going to do a few counters, then go into Cresselia. The reason why is because I want to get this into 2 Grass Knot range. 2 Grass Knot actually do knock out for full health plus Psycho Cuts, but they will take a lot of Psycho Cuts. So I just want to make sure that he's in Grass Knot range. And this will eventually lead up to a scenario where he can flip Switch Advantage. But he would have to be the one to invest 2 shields, and I might actually be okay with that because anything else on his line can't really take the energy from the Vigoroth well besides that Registeel. Feraligatr is fragile, I have Rock Slide for Skeledirge, and I wouldn't exactly mind to hit the energy with that because Vigoroth's energy just does nothing, right? That's kind of the problem that I have with my team. My Prime counter doesn't even counter Registeel that well. He lets it go. Going for a nasty lock on down. It is what it is, man. He can have Feraligatr, Skeledirge, Gudra in the back, or his own Cresselia. And Basidon is fine into 3 out of those 4. And it is Cresselia on the back because that course is so good into me. Gonna farm up a little bit more energy because I can. Basidon just takes this energy super well. I'm gonna skip ahead a little bit in this matchup. If you don't mind. Obviously, not everyone's a fan of Basidon, but it was so necessary in this team that I brought here. It actually was one of my better Pokemon. So I can see he tried to snipe me with Registeel. He was almost on an attack. I'm gonna go for the flamethrower here and then swap into my Vigoroth. Counter down. This point's kind of over. Vigoroth has so much energy at this point that Cresselia can't really hang on. I have about 3 body slam here, so as you can see, get to another one. And then he gets to an attack, which won't even knock me out. I just get to another body slam. And now I tie up the score to 1-1. This is the only way I can win, really, by perfect alignment. Game number 3 was a little bit scuffed, because this is actually a rematch of the 3rd game. We both weren't too sure if 2 Hydro Cannon would have knocked out my Bastiodon, and then my Lantern was also like 2 Water Gun off an attack, so it would have been a really close match. We decided to go with the same teams. He plays a little bit different this time. Last time he swapped immediately into Registeel, and I answered immediately with Vigoroth. Now I know his backline, Feraligatr in the back, so I'm going to go into my Lantern. Lantern can actually hang on quite well here now, and if he has like Feraligatr in the back, Feraligatr with shields up just wrecks my line. Honestly, the first time he brought this in, I kind of also expected this kind of stuff. Gonna go for a Surf here, which might actually not be the best play. I figured I need 2 attacks here, but looking at it afterwards in the end, Thunderbolt plus Water Guns might actually have led to a farm down here, so that could have been a little bit better, unfortunately. He's gonna go to a Focus Blast, maybe lost track of my energy, thought that I was already there. But I was 1 or 2 Water Gun off. He catches, and this is actually a good catch for me, because he had a Grass Knot ready and wanted to fire that into me. Well, unfortunately, he already has the locked in anyway, because my timer was barely not up. Knocks me out. Switch advantage is still mine, so it's likely. It's that Feraligatr in the back. I have my Vigoroth as a core breaker into Registeel and Feraligatr, so I might just be still okay. I just need to make sure I come out with energy here, but the annoying thing is his Registeel also has energy, and that means that it can come back in, and if it gets to an attack into my Vigoroth, then I'm still in trouble, because that Feraligatr with shields down and the shield advantage will take out the rest of my team. I'm gonna go for the Stone here. He likely won't shield this. I just want to make sure I hit this before the timer's up, otherwise he swaps with a move again. But he goes for Grass Knot instead, which is fine. Now I predict him to switch, so I'm gonna switch as well. He does switch indeed into the Shadow Feraligatr. So Feraligatr only wins a 0 shield scenario here when in even shields. But with a shield up, it should win. But the 1 to 2 shield is nasty close. You'll find out now. I am actually thinking at this point, if I didn't throw any of these body slam, I may have just been able to counter down this entire Feraligatr because I might get more counter damage in. Maybe not, because as you can see, the Feraligatr still could hang on 1 or 2 more body slam. I don't know, I would have two more counts in here, right? So maybe. Yes, 2 Hydro Cannon at this point. Yes, throw them immediately. And as you can see, yeah, I think actually 2 more counts may have knocked him out. So if I didn't throw, maybe I would have been in a better spot there. Gonna go farm down with the Bastiodon. And now it comes down to the end. I have the Flamethrower now for the registry, but he has a catch available. So I'm gonna predict him to catch. I'm not gonna throw just yet. Third game. If I threw that attack, but he told me he expected me to expect him to catch, so he just went for it. And it worked out for him. So unfortunately, I lost 1-2. That rematch battle actually was more fun than the previous battle. So yeah, unfortunately my first loss, but I can still win the local. My next opponent is going to be the new guy on the block. And now I'm here with someone we don't know as much yet in the Play Pokemon community yet. This is him. What is your name?
No, 010 DSN.
What have you come to do here today?
To beat you.
To beat me, we have a challenger. Are you going to try and go to more regional championships this season?
Next season, after Worlds, I'm gonna go to a lot.
And are you going to try and qualify?
Yes, I'm trying to. I'm trying to qualify. Yeah.
We have a lot of good competition today. Good luck to one of our newcomers in the local scene, Dijon.
Thank you.
Max. The team from Dijon is much more manageable than that of Triptando. That's because my both my Lantern and my Vigoroth are very free here, and I also see a lot of play for my Bastiodon. In fact, I see so much dominance from those 3 picks that I feel very confident to try and make Swanna work here. Giraffic has Confusion that makes it worse into Bastiodon, but better into Swanna, unfortunately. He also has Spark on his Lantern, which now is a little bit outdated. Because it's very much nerfed. I get a great lead here. Vigoroth into Umbreon, and he goes into Gligar. I have Watergun Lantern. This didn't used to be as good of a matchup with Spark, but now it's much better. He also brought the wrong Umbreon, so you'll see that it's a little bit low CP. Dijon is like learning more and more every single time. He actually did beat me another time, so I never go into this matchup underestimating him, but like these are kind of things that do help me make it a little bit easier for me, because Umbreon's actually not that bad into Vigoroth. He decides to make a different play, however. He's gonna go farm me down maybe with this Shadow Giraffic, and the energy is actually scary. My plan was to get shields down with my Swanna, for my Swanna, and then Swanna with Fly can hit very hard on pretty much everything on this team that's not Lantern. But now the roles are reversed. He is the one having all those shields and grabbing my shields. I need to get out of this matchup. Look at how much 1 Confusion does. Shadow Swanna comes in. It's quite fragile, unfortunately, as you can see here. Can I get to 1 attack? No, I won't be able to. And my next Air Slash doesn't even land. So it will get to another attack on my Vigoroth, debuff my Vigoroth. My timer's not up, so I can't clear that debuff. And I do think that this Psychic Fangs does more than 1 attack from the Umbreon, because it has Foul Play, Last Resort, no Dark Pulse. But I do think, even from this Umbreon, that 2 Foul Play might be enough to knock me out now. It usually doesn't. And because this is not really that great of an IV on the Umbreon, Vigoroth does quite well into this one. But as you can see, it does way too much damage. I need to make a catch, but Dijon has shown before that he knows how to expect catches, and as you can see, I failed to catch the attack. He overfarms, very smart by him, and then I think he lags a little bit even, so I get another counter through. I'm 1 counter off my next body slam now, but this foul play will knock me out. So yeah, he wins game number 1. I think if I had any other Pokemon than Swanna, I probably would have won that game. Alright, well, we tried Swanna, it didn't work. I can't afford to lose another game here. This has to be a matchup. I need to get points after already having 1 loss. I lead Lantern into Gligar, tremendous. He comes with Umbreon. I have 2 great matchups here, to be honest. Bastiodon is really just as fine into this particular Umbreon. Even Best Buddy, I know this might be just like his first or favorite Pokemon or something. I'm gonna go for Body Slam here. Vigoroth will take this matchup quite comfortably. Again, if you have a good Umbreon, if he brought his other Umbreon, he may have been able to get a shield advantage here, because then this Vigoroth has, like, can't really take the damage well. He goes for Last Resort here, interesting. Realizes he won't get to another attack. A good Umbreon would get to another Foul Play. So yeah, let's see. I do get the perfect counter down here. I think if he went straight Last Foul Play, he would have gone there on the next Snow, but as you saw, he wouldn't get there now. Going for the Body Slam here on this Gligar, which is a nice chip, but the energy is scary, because Dig does a lot of damage on Lantern. He goes into Dougal. Gonna go into Bastidon. This is kind of hard countering. Bastidon is very bulky. I have a very good IV. Even though it might not look like it by the CP. I don't think he baits on the first one, but he might bait on the second one if I would have let that go. So I'm going to go for the Smackdown and then the Stone Edge. Durban will do a little bit less than 50% on Bastiodon, so I don't have to shield per se. I can live 2 here. It's double super effective, but, you know, it's Bastiodon, so... Let's see. I'll try to just smack this down, maybe against last shield. At this point, it doesn't really matter, but I cannot use another shield because if that Gligar lands a dig on my Lantern, this gets really nasty. I barely get to my Stone Edge here. If he shields is over, he knows he cannot shield there. Now he needs to get like an Aerial bait plus a dig. But I run a pretty good Lantern, so I'm gonna let this go. I think I will barely hang on anyway, and he goes for the bait. At that point, it's over. Dijon recognizes and leaves the battle. Scores 1-1 now. Game 3, I'm gonna try a little bit of a different strategy. I don't expect Umbreon to come back per se, but I will double cover it with Vigoroth and Wigglytuff anyway. Wigglytuff is very free into his team, but can get a little bit outbulked by that Dugong and the Lantern. He leads his own Wigglytuff, which is okay. Let's the first Moonblast go. Perfect. I can just go double Moonblast now to knock this out, actually. You know, Farms then tries to catch on his Umbreon. This is actually not that great of a play of mine. I should have just gone into the Wigglytuff right away. Front is down entirely. Now this Umbreon won't be able to get 2 Charge Sextos, so maybe that's just okay. And then the Gligar will struggle against this as well. And I also stay out of range of getting knocked out by the Wigglytuff. So maybe it's okay. I do expect the Gligar on the back. Gligar at this point is still a threat to my team because I have Vigoroth in the back. So I kind of need to hang on to my Cresselia here. He goes for an attack here. Whatever it is, it won't knock out. I don't think he was at a potential player off, which he didn't have on his team sheet anyway. It's open team sheets. Gonna go for the Ice Wind. He has a Disarming Voice, which does do more damage than Swift, but it takes another charm as well. Goes into Gligar to farm me down. I think he's probably expecting my Lantern, which at that point would be over. Even though he has so much energy, but he's already so low. I know I can take a dig from here, so I'm gonna no shield this. I need the shields for my Vigoroth, and because he throws that, he kind of has to throw immediately, which he doesn't, and it allows me to get to the Grass Knot, and you know, this point should be fine. In fact, I'm gonna go straight into Vigoroth because I'm afraid of a farm down. Actually, may have gone to another Grass Knot, but there was not really a reason to. Still no shielding. Again, I could have hung on to the dig, and Dijon realizes he leaves the battle. He's saving us a lot of time. Thank you. So far, I've not seen a lot of opportunities for Swanna to make it work. It's not as much of a fighter plus Swampert or Whiscash core meta anymore, so that's maybe why I couldn't make it work as much. I need to win the next matchup to get championship points.
Ik ben hier met Brian bij de eerste local in Leiden. Brian was heel ver gekomen in Lille en Utrecht. Brian, wat vind je ervan om zo tegen mij te spelen?
Ja, irritant. Het is altijd vaak RPS. Het is altijd vaak...
En waarom doe je dat? Waarom maak je het RPS dan?
Ik ken Martijn goed. Martijn kent mij goed. We hebben vaker tegen elkaar gespeeld.
Ja, precies. Nou ja, we gaan vandaag zien hoe Brian het RPS gaat maken. Ik heb Bastidon mee, dus het zal niet aan mij liggen.
The thing I hate the most about Brian's team, he loves Skarmory and Lantern, and I hate those Pokemon. Lantern blocks Pokemon that I would like to use, like fire type Pokemon, like Talonflame, and often I need to use Skarmory, and then Skarmory blocks Pokemon that I like to use, like Cresselia and Wigglytuff, so that's why our matchup usually becomes RPS. I need to see this in 2 ways. Either he calls my Bastiodon bluff, or he is always going to bring Annihilate and Lantern if he really fears the Bastiodon. So let's see how that's going to work. I have Cresselia to core break Annihilate and Lantern. His Annihilate has Ice Punch, by the way. I lead Bastiodon into Lantern. I'm staying in for a little bit because I'm hesitating that it might be Annihilate in the back and then this might just be its best alignment. But I realize I have to perform my plan here anyway, right? I need to draw out Skarmory to free up Cresselia on the back. So I'm going to swap in Wigglytuff, but it's a little bit too late. Going to go for the Swift here. Nice to have Swift come out earlier, but if he shields this, he can farm me down, so it's actually not too great now. And the fact that he does this tells me he has a Nihilip in the back. If he's calling my line, he might have just Skarmory in the back, and I just lose this battle. So yeah, that's gonna go. I think I'm gonna go back in with Bastiodon here, just because I expect a Nihilip in the back. And then I'm hoping that Cresselia can sweep if it's something like Altaria or his own Cresselia in the back. Let's see, another Surf comes through, that's fine. Bastiodon, very bulky, can take this. And I think I can farm down. He even gets to another one. It doesn't matter. It's useless against an Nihilip anyway, if that's in the back. And it has to be, right? I would expect his land to be paired with Skarmory, but nonetheless, it's Umbreon in the back. Which feels bittersweet, because I'm like, this line makes no sense. If he doesn't swap out, then my Wigglytuff in the back just destroys those two. In fact, he doesn't really have anything reliable to bait out my Wigglytuff because both Umbreon and Annihilape get demolished. It's not even fun, right? Wiggly comes out with so much energy, and then your lead, I guess Lantern can take some of it, so maybe it's not the worst. Gonna still try to do something here. 2 Moonblast won't knock out Umbreon, unfortunately. And yeah, I don't really see a lot of potential here. Maybe if I can get a shield here, but like if he doesn't shield, I'm gonna try another play here, which I'm not too sure of actually. He actually makes an incredible catch here on the Annihilape, which doesn't matter anyway. I think my best play was to just throw the Grass Knot. He shields, I go in Bastion and throw my energy. If he doesn't shield, I maybe try to catch on the Bastion. Now I go for the energy. It's just over because he gets Shadow Ball before I get to attacks. I need to get the Grass Knot and Moonblast here. So well played, Brian. That's 1-0 for him. Game number 2. Let's see if I can adapt here. Leading Cresselia, trying to call the same sort of line because he went ABA to my Cresselia, but he leads Skarmory. Man, I'm getting RPS again. But hold up. He swaps in Annihilape. Means he didn't bring Cresselia. And I kind of figured that. Because if he leads Skarmory, Cresselia in the back would be very dumb, right? It would be extremely poor into Bastion. It could maybe be the opposite, but never that way. And now he's actually going to run the line that I expected him to run initially, which is Skarmory, Annihilape, Lantern, ABB into Bastion. Because he goes straight Shadow Ball there, I should be able to outpace this Annihilape. It's about 7 seconds for me to get to an attack, and it's 8 seconds for him to get to that Shadow Ball every time. So it doesn't really matter at this point. I just double shield, even if it's an Ice Punch. You won't even get to another one here, so I'm very good. I flipped Switch Advantage. My Bastion will now be at Skarmory, on the Skarmory, so that's fantastic. I predict he has his own Lantern in the back, and he does. So perfect for me. I think I can get to a Thunderbolt here, just barely. Water Gun obviously resisted, and man, that's some sweet damage. This does nothing for me. It doesn't matter, but it's nice having Grass Knot range now. Or maybe with a few Psychic Cuts. He's gonna try to catch on the Skarmory, which is pretty predictable. So I'm gonna go into Bastion, and I look at him. I'm saying out loud, how does it feel, huh? How does it feel? Yeah, at this point, I think he just goes on for a little bit, and then he knows he's going to top left this game because it's over, and we get a game number 3 again. Game number 3, I really want to bring Swanna, but man, I don't want to lose. And man, Swanna lead would have been fantastic here, actually. Lantern into Annihilape. I got my favorite strategy here, which is win lead, RPS in the back. So let's see how that's going to go. I just need to win the lead, and I get RPS in the back because the worst I could probably face in the back is his Lantern, which would be pretty ABA to Cresselia again, so I don't really expect that. I actually expect him to swap out and try to bait out my Bastion at some point, which he does. I'm gonna do some Water Gun, build some energy here. Now here's the beautiful, beautiful thing. I can't lose at this point. It's impossible. It's impossible to lose. Maybe he is Cresselia in the back? A poco. A very little chance. Very little chance. If he has Cresselia in the back, then he might have a chance here. I doubt it, though. It's probably Skarmory in the back, and if it is, my Lantern is so healthy. Skarmory has very little against that, so I think I'm very fine here. Gonna go for that Stone Edge. I want to knock out this Cresselia here as soon as I can, really, and keep Switch Advantage. I'm kind of making a misplay here, however. You know, even if I don't keep Switch Advantage, I think the Annihilape is solo. I could even Water Gun down and come out with a lot of energy, so don't think it's exactly losable. Grass not coming through. So here's my idea. I want to get as low as possible in HP, so the Annihilape gets as little farm as possible. But he could actually shield and flip now, except that he catches on Annihilape. That's fine. He catches on Annihilape here. It's actually unfortunate that now I have to review my Wigglytuff. He doesn't wait the clock very well, so that's just fine. Gonna go into my Lantern immediately, which already had energy. Lantern is extremely good in this matchup, even with Water Gun, but it takes longer with Water Gun to get to the attack, so that's not great. He goes for Sky Attack. I call his bluff on the Brave Bird. Well, Brave Bird still wouldn't have knocked out, and then the Water Guns and even the Charms would have added up a lot there. So just gonna go straight Surf. I will get to 3 here, and then I can Charm down, I think. He still needs to throw an attack with that Skarmory. The Cresselia has no energy, so it won't even be able to get to another attack. I'm gonna shield this up. Once he comes in with the Cresselia, I make sure that I go into the Wigglytuff. I actually thought his time was up here, but he didn't swap just yet. Let's see. He's going into the Cresselia now. I think he has an attack stored, but it doesn't really matter. Even though Stealing is super effective here, I will be able to get to a charge attack. To the Swift. We get to the Swift victory here because it's 1 charm cheaper than Disarming Voice and Icy Wind. Swift, again, clutch. Well, not really. He could have only won if he got to like a Brave Bird and Sky Attack here. So that was going to be tough for him. And that means I am 2-1 in this tournament. That means I get 12 championship points because Triptando won all 3 matchups and he won the whole thing.
I'm here with the competitors. How did it go for you, Brian?
Didn't went so well. Just
Did you lose to Bastiodon?
Yes.
Very good. How'd it go for you, Dijon?
I lost. I lost, but not to Swana. So
Very good. The one game I brought Swana, it didn't win. Tristan, how did it go for you?
Wasted potential on top, baby.
Let's repeat that. Tristan, how did it go for you?
Wasted potential on top, baby.
He's gonna go home by train.
So let me know what you think of this style of video, adding those kind of elements into my local videos. Obviously, there's a lot to improve still, and even watching it back, a lot of technical things. If you have any advice, please do leave a comment. I would appreciate that. So yeah, hope you liked the video, and see you in the next one. Bye.
next season after Worlds, I'm gonna go to a lot. Yeah.
And are you going to try and qualify?
Even die vraag opnieuw.